Jeff Rowe from Two Hacks Garage. Well, back at Jimmy's shop, it's an early Sunday morning. Actually getting a relief, much needed from the heat. I like hot weather, but I like hot weather on beaches. It's been just a scorcher. But it's a nice morning, and we're back working on jumping jack flash. It's kind of the small things. We're really close to be able to fire this up. We got to get the mag installed, get all that timed, get the wires hooked up, that type of stuff. I still got some linkage on here, waiting on a couple fittings. But Jimmy and I just got a whole bunch of those, if you want to call it, back on those little things. Not a lot left to do, but we're kind of at the last stages of that. So what we're going to do is we're going to start tackling those things. I'm really digging this tunnel ram setup. It does look nice, especially with the twin Holleys on there. It does look old school. One day we'll get back around to figuring out that Hillborn, but right now, for what is in the budget, we're running a pair of classic Holleys, and I think it's going to perform very well. Mind you, we were going to run methanol in this with the injection. Seeing we're going with carburetors, these are not rated for alcohol or methanol, so we're going to be running 114 octane VP racing fuel. Should go quite well with that extremely high compression. Also should smell pretty nice. Funny part about that is my son's got that little Baja mini bike all hopped up, and he's been siphoning my fuel, and I tell you what, that little thing rips, and it actually smells pretty good. So I'm going to give him a pass on that. But yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to work on a lot of those little things, and you know what, guys, we're not too far off. See you in a few. All right, so the linkage is done. What I did is I ordered a couple kits to connect the two carburetors together, and the reason I did that is when I looked at the kits' length differences, one was too short, one was too long, so I just, Frankenstein them, made that work. Here's the bracket that Jimmy made for the actual accelerator cable. So basically, you hit the gas. Throttle return spring. I had two on there. It was way too tight. But yeah, so yeah. That's how that works. If you notice right there, it's going to push because this gas pedal was originally set up for that Hillborn setup. So we had to determine how can we make this thing work as a push, and we did. There's always a will. There's always a way. It's kind of neat. If you notice these carburetors, yes, they're mounted backwards, but that's because the way the fuel pedal was routed. So yeah, that's where we're at. Jimmy and I are going to work on the 60 shark scoop to get that mounted. That's why you see one of those rings on there. We got in the other room. So yeah, that's going to be pretty neat. Really dig this setup. Can't wait to hear it roar. See you in a few. All right, check out that scoop. So I bought this scoop from Speedway Motors. It comes unfinished. It's fiberglass. You got to cut holes in it. And what I did was I bought an air filter kit and used the bases. And what we did is we drilled holes, pop riveted in place. I painted this same color as a lot of the other components on here. It's called Retro Red, and it's got a lacquer clear coat finish. Actually shines up pretty well, pretty nice. Really does give it that 60s old school look. I think this is called a shark scoop. It's pretty neat. I like it. To hold it down, normally what happens is you have an air cleaner in there in the lid with a stud. Obviously, we need max airflow. So Jimmy made some little brackets that go over that. You can see the studs that are going to pinch down on that. He just painted those, waiting for them to dry. All the linkage clears. I tell you what, guys, that looks really hot. It's coming together. Just a little bit more work to do today. See you in a few. All right, shorter video than usual, but we got a lot done. Like I said, some of these videos might be a little bit boring, but we're taking you along the entire journey to really show you what goes into building one of these things. Like I said a little over 6 months ago, it's just not taking a frame, chucking an engine and transmission and hitting the drag strip. There is so much more involved in that. In fact, when this is done and completely fully assembled, I'm going to make a video of what goes into building a front engine drag strip. So yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it today. The scoop is awesome. I really love this. I really love the vintage bread box intake manifold. I tell you what, this was really hard to find the top for on it. Like I said, Jimmy had the base for it, but not the top. He had one, but it was machined for a 4-port hat. The Holley 450 carburetors, they are tunnel ram matched pair. I think those are going to work awesome. I got the fuel pump already done on that and all the other stuff coming from Holley. So Holley to the rescue on that. Like I said, one day we're going to get the Hillborn set up. I know a lot of people have asked, well, what happened? Well, we had 3 pump failures, and the internal parts on that are almost impossible to find. I could sit there and keep buying eBay or Facebook Marketplace used pumps. But you know what, guys? We need to get this thing up and going, go get our license and drag race. My friend Brian, he's actually got a pump now, and we're going to take a look at that. We're also looking at getting a Waterman system. But for now, it's in my budget and time frame. We needed to make a decision, and we switched it over to the tunnel ram setup on race gas with a pair of tunnel ram carburetors. I think it's going to be fast. I think it's going to surprise a lot of people. I really dig it. It still has that old school look, especially with that scoop. It really, really pops. So yeah, taking you along the entire journey. It's been a blast. We are so close. If you see the to-do list there, you know what, guys? There's not a whole lot on there. In fact, what we got left to do is plumb fuel system. It's actually in progress. I'm waiting on one fitting. That's it. And then I can get everything put back in place. There's the water block off plate here along with the bracket. Like I said in the last video, I need to make those pretty, which I'm in the process of doing. All these other things are done. Install stall style header gaskets. They're copper. We're actually going to fire it up with the ones we have on it now. I don't think they'll blow out, but you know, just in case we do have the correct gaskets for that. Install and time the magneto. My friend Brian from B&R Racing, he's coming down and he's going to help set all that up and get that going. Really, that's all. We've got a lot done, and you know what, guys? I think the next video will be just, like I said, I'm waiting on a couple fittings for the fuel system. It's a specialized fitting from Holley. It's basically the 9/16 24 float bowl fitting, but it goes to a barb because I'm going to have 2 fuel lines going into a Y that's a Moroso piece, vintage piece. It's pretty cool, and go from there. So the next video I'm really hoping is we fire this up, make a whole lot of noise, set the timing, and from there, guys, you know what? It's hitting a drag strip. It's getting our license. It's seeing how this thing is going to do. But until then, it's been fun. See you in the next one. There's going to be a whole lot more content on this, hopefully doing burnouts, making noise. But expect more content on my 68 Ford Thunderbird, powered by that 521 cubic inch tunnel ram fed, Holley equipped beast, and Kyle's 1968 Pontiac GTO. It's Holley Sniper powered. It's getting a bigger Holley Sniper on it here pretty soon, along with a lot of other goodies, because he's got a whole lot of cool plans coming up for that. So until then, guys, stay cool, stay awesome. Jumping Jack Flash. It's gas, gas, gas. Later.